Hey y'all, welcome back to Penny For Your Thoughtz, where we talk real life, real growth, and real healing. And at the end, I'll give you my 2 cents. There's something I've been noticing lately. Everywhere I look, everything looks perfect. Perfect faces, perfect homes, perfect lighting, perfect lives. And the truth is, a lot of it isn't real. Technology is amazing. Creativity can move faster than ever before. But something in me pauses when I see AI generated images. Not because they aren't impressive, but because they feel empty. They look flawless, but they don't feel lived in. Perfection without experience doesn't carry a story. There was a time when a photograph meant proof. You saw it. It happened. Now, anything can be generated, enhanced, altered, perfected. A face can be created. A lifestyle can be fabricated. A moment can be staged. And after a while, you begin to wonder, what's real anymore? Because when everything looks real, nothing is real. And when nothing feels grounded in truth, we start comparing our real lives to manufactured realities. We question our beauty. We question our progress. We question our worth. Not because we lack value, but because we're measuring ourselves against illusions. The more you understand yourself, the less pressure you feel to imitate what you see. When you know who you are, you stop chasing images. You stop comparing your real journey to someone else's edited highlight. Understanding yourself gives you clarity. Clarity about your pace, your purpose, your beauty, and your worth. And when you have clarity, you don't need perfection. You need alignment. There was a time you could feel the presence of a person in what they created. A trembling brushstroke, a voice cracking with emotion, a photo captured after waiting for the right light. You could feel the humanity in it. Now everything is instant, generated, perfected before it breathes. And in that perfection, something sacred gets lost. Technology can replicate an image, but it cannot replicate a lived experience. It cannot replicate a soul. We celebrate finished products, but the process is part of the meaning, the doubt, the failing, the learning, and the becoming. That journey lives inside the work. Process leaves fingerprints, and those fingerprints make something human. Because the process doesn't just produce the work, it produces the person. There's a difference between inspiration and extraction. Inspiration honors, it studies, it transforms. Extraction takes without relationship. It replicates appearance without honoring the artist. Behind every style, there was a person. Behind every technique, years of practice. Behind every masterpiece, sacrifice. When we forget the human behind the work, we lose respect for the humanity inside creation. It didn't happen overnight. It started playfully. Dog ears, butterflies, fun filters, then perfect skin, reshaped features, and flawless lighting. Then, correction became replacement. We stopped asking, is this real? And started asking, is this better? And that shift didn't happen in technology. It happened in the mirror. When perfection is always one filter away, our natural appearance can begin to feel wrong. Not because anything is wrong with us, but because we are comparing ourselves to images that do not exist in reality. This isn't vanity, it's conditioning. And when self-worth becomes tied to impossible standards, confidence erodes and identity begins to fracture. There's nothing defective about being real. Online, you can present who you want to be. Offline, people meet who you actually are. And when those two versions are far apart, trust fractures. Connection cannot survive behind a mask. Trust requires honesty. Intimacy requires truth. Belonging requires being known. The goal is not to be accepted as an illusion. The goal is to be loved in truth. Let's flip the coin. Head says, I can be anyone online. Behind the screen, I can edit my face, reshape my life, present a version of myself that feels safer than reality. We flip it. Tails says, but the right people will love the real me, not the filtered version, not the perfected version, but the human version. Because connection doesn't grow in illusion, it grows in truth. We started with filters, something harmless, something fun. But step by step, the line between enhancement and replacement blurred. Reality became negotiable. So the real question isn't whether technology will evolve. It will. The question is, how far will we go with it? Will we use it to create or escape, express or hide, enhance life or replace it? Because the danger isn't in the tools, it's in forgetting who we are without them. For those of us who live from a place of faith, this conversation reaches deeper than culture or technology. So God created mankind in his own image. Genesis 1:27. You were not created accidentally. You were not created incorrectly. You were not created as a draft waiting to be fixed. You were created. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made, says Psalms 139:14. Fearfully, wonderfully, intentionally, formed by God. So when we begin to believe our real faces aren't enough, our real selves need replacing, it's worth asking, where did that belief begin? Because God did not create you as a mistake. He created you with purpose, dignity, and design. Filters may adjust an image, but they cannot improve divine design. Trends may shift standards, but they do not redefine your worth. For we are God's masterpiece. Ephesians 2:10. You're not an error to be corrected. You're a creation to be honored. When you accept how you were created, you walk in gratitude instead of comparison. When you honor your design, you walk in confidence instead of shame. When you understand your worth, you stop chasing acceptance. In a world that edits everything, choosing to honor how God made you is not weakness. It's reverence. In a world obsessed with altering creation, choosing to honor how God made you is an act of courage. You're not a draft. You are God's design. Thanks for sitting with me today. Thanks for taking the time to reflect, grow, and keep going. In a world that can edit everything, choose to remain real. This has been Penny For Your Thoughtz. And that's my 2 cents. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe.